Welcome to the spooky edition of the Site-65 podcast. I'm your host, Robert Twitter Pearson, and with me is not Keegan this time. First time he's missed an episode, so shame on him. With us is Richard Mann.
Hi.
And with us is someone who probably shouldn't be here because he's recovering from being sick, Cooper.
How you doing?
Doing good. I'm sitting as far away from you as I physically can because I do not want to catch whatever you have.
You'll be fine, man.
I know. I don't want to be sick. Oh man. So how have you guys been doing?
Tired. Not because I'm sick. Because I was on a different research project for the last month and a half, and I haven't been able to sleep well for like 2 weeks. So that's fun.
It happens. And actually, I have something I really want to talk about in regards to research. I attempted.
You attempted? Oh, insane.
I attempted to send 096 into the sun.
I do not know what made you think that was a clever idea, but no, go on, I'm listening.
I'm not going to say anything besides, how much did this cost?
A lot. Let's just say the Foundation has maxed out their credit cards.
Don't we like...
Well, you know what? I say the Foundation's credit cards. To be fair, I'm not sure whose credit card we used. It could be a janitor's for all we know. We just found a credit card. We're like, let's get buying. They had no limit. So I mean, space flight.
And then I know whose credit card it is.
hold up.
Then I do know whose credit card it is.
Isn't the electric bill for Site-65 like $21 billion a year or something like that?
I mean, yeah, but like
somewhat.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, what's space flight if you got billions to spare?
Oh my god!
So here's what we did.
That's not how we went and got.
I don't handle the money aspect of things. I just blow shit up.
Oh, don't worry, your boss is going to love that sentence. When he has your stupid face implanted in the floor.
We got a D class, and we got 096. We put a bucket over 096's head, and then we brought them to surface. And
everything about that
on surface
is concerning.
Yes, on surface was awaiting a vessel that would take the D class up to the stratosphere. Now, this vessel was just kind of looks like a Pringles can almost. Only it had a weather balloon attached to it that would lift the D class up. And boy, did it lift the D class up. And then, inside of the vessel was some food and water, because it took about 12 hours for him to reach the stratosphere. So there was also a manila envelope containing a picture of 096 to be incinerated after the test was done. So we hung out, we chatted. 096 sat there quietly in his bucket, and things went well. We saw some CI gently looking over the hill, but we, scared them off with some gunfire. Then, once the D-Class was in the stratosphere, we had him open up the envelope and look at the picture. 096 was immediately enraged, but he didn't do much. He just kind of ran around in circles for a couple of minutes as we watched him. Keep in mind, he still had a bucket on his head, so we weren't gonna trigger him. All of a sudden, 096 crouched and just leaped into the air, right up to the D class, like nonstop, just flew straight up to the D class, and proceeded to do whatever it is that he does with D class. At that exact moment, the C4 strapped to the bottom of the vessel detonated, flinging 096 into space. And we calculated the path that it would lead him, so he would slingshot around the moon and fly directly into the sun, or if we're lucky, the harsh atmosphere of Venus. But we were aiming for the sun. So that worked. We were very happy. And we were celebrating, and we were all thrilled. About 2 days later, into the town of Pinewood comes a meteor. Well, not really a meteor, just this superheated mass of bones. Just slams down into Pinewood, destroys the shelter that's up there where the local chefs cook, and we sent a team up there, and they were intercepted by GOC. Now, GOC was not happy to see that we had destroyed something on surface, but in reality, we didn't have anything to do with it. It was the bones of 096. 096 got incinerated in the atmosphere and came back down as bones. And those bones were pretty deadly. A lot of citizens went to go look at the impact. A lot of citizens died. We ended up having to put the skull just in a bag and carry it back to his cell, where we put the bones in, and a couple days later, 096 was regenerated fully.
I was about to say, I thought you, doing this test, you kind of just signed the death warrant for, like, one guy in the Foundation.
Yeah, I mean, what's the death of one D class when you could potentially
Not
save
a
a billion?
D class, a researcher.
What
do you mean?
You know about that, right?
His ass being put back together is probably going to be very much liquidated.
No, I'm not talking about that. You know about the mountain? You know about that situation?
One fucking pixel.
My brother in Christ, you remember the researcher involved in that shit? He's on permanent death. He gets killed the second he's done killing 096.
I mean, yeah, but like,
the second 096 is dead, he gets escorted out and he's dead.
Yeah, but like, it was funny.
Jesus Christ, we're all sociopaths.
We are all fucked. You make some of the worst hate crimes CI's committed look reasonable.
Look, I wanted to get results. The 05 told me specifically, killed the son of a bitch.
Ah, there we go.
There it is, bro.
You wanted to keep your research fund. Now we see.
Look, if we don't spend $1 trillion 1 year, then we don't get $1 trillion the next year. And if we don't get $1 trillion the next year, then we have to go
all the money we could have.
Get even more money. And that doesn't work, because then we could get into a bidding war against other lobbyists. It's how the government works.
Don't we control the governments?
No.
Not all.
Well, yeah, well, maybe. I don't entirely know.
The Foundation controls technically the majority of the government. The majority only. But the majority isn't enough to run the world. And some 05s are not satisfied with that.
Happy the test worked, okay?
Worked in quotation marks.
Look, we threw 096 into the sun.
He's still alive, though.
Small details like that make it sound worse than it is.
Well, it was a horrible failure. You suffered casualties, and nothing got done. I say.
Did I also mention the GOC bombing?
So yeah, exactly. You got absolutely fuck all done.
Yeah.
In every sense of the word.
News time, everyone! News time! Ring the news bell! News bell! News bell here. We have news to talk about, guys. So let's totally change the subject and not talk about this anymore. Because you're making me feel bad.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll do more than make you feel bad.
So it is spooky season. Halloween is right around the corner. If you're in the US and you celebrate Halloween, happy Halloween. I don't really know if Canada celebrates it a lot, but there are a lot of jack-o'-lanterns around Site-65 at the moment. I'm not sure how the other sites are celebrating, but I will say this. 999 is... I'm sorry, what?
Those aren't supposed to be there. Those aren't man-made.
Well, 999's eaten 4 of them. Yeah, Bet you weren't expecting that. 999 has eaten 4 jack-o'-lanterns. He just kind of squirms up to them, looks them over, and thinks, food, and then just consumes them. And then he gets and then there's a candle burning inside of him, so we have to pull the candle out because poor 999 has an upset tummy. And then he spits out pumpkin guts everywhere. But he's eaten 4 of them, so clearly he enjoys it somehow.
He eats anything, pretty much. Are you surprised?
Well, mostly sweets.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
I didn't really expect him to consume pumpkins.
Command considered at one point turning him into a live IED.
What do you mean?
Well, feed him nitroglycerin, massive amounts of it, and then
Oh,
watch as
no,
the
you are
Foundation
not
employee
blowing
tries
up
to
my
pet
favorite
him and
jelly.
it liquidates half the facility. We toyed with the idea.
No.
The problem was 999 was too picky with his food.
I mean, yeah,
That
I
was
would
the
hope,
only
I
thing which
would
stopped
hope
us from doing that.
999
May I
would not know.
add.
What is
The
with everyone
only.
in wanting to kill 999?
Oh no, it's not that we're willing to kill 999. It's just financially cheaper to use 999 as an IED than trying to plant a bomb in the Foundation somewhere.
I mean, I could see your point.
I mean, we
But
have
at the same
infiltrators as
time-
researchers already enough, but getting one of those materials for a bomb is difficult. Pouring those massive amounts of nitroglycerin E11 keeps around for no reason down 999, and simply turning the small thing into a bomb to hug the next poor researcher to death, that is hilarious.
I don't know if that's hilarious.
It's hilarious
As
for
a
me.
researcher, I have to step in and say, I don't find that very funny.
I mean, it's like the other time where someone thought, let's try to use enough acid against 682 so it adapts to it so they can't contain it anymore. Or the guy who thought, let's go expose 682 to an eldritch god and fuck around and see what happens. You might know those other two have not been approved. Because of reasons.
Yeah.
Mostly
I mean,
because it's too
I can
expensive.
imagine, and we probably shouldn't talk about that stuff. I can tell you that I did a 682 test the other day where I gave 682 a bath.
Oh, that is incredibly wholesome.
Yeah, I figured 682's angry all the time. Maybe it's because he's filthy. He's covered in like rocks and dust and shit from constant.
Didn't we
sleep
have this
effort.
conversation before this, Robert?
Look.
You repeat yourself.
We had extra bubble bath laying around.
We had this conversation before, Robert. You
Do tell,
can't
I'm
make what is literally evil not be evil.
I can try, damn it.
I mean, you can
Okay.
try, but the last person who failed, I remind you again that the display of this individual had to be quite literally redacted entirely to avoid the psychological trauma of all the people who'd have to read the report. So go on, do try, but
Look,
make sure
science
that
isn't
wherever
about
you get
why.
splashed.
Science is not about why, it's about why not. People look at me like I'm crazy because I want to give a coconut to 096. It's a test, okay?
I could apply your logic to a lot of horrible crimes just for fun to show you how flawed your logic is, but I'm just not feeling it right now.
I'm just saying you would be put in prison for life for what you did if you were actually if you weren't part of the Foundation. Just saying.
Oh, don't worry. Again, I have the ethics committee on speed dial at this point. No, really, it's basically turns out that we are observing so many crimes of Foundation personnel by just them trying to bribe each other and all that other shit, that the ethics committee has just decided that CI seems to be a reliable source of information. Because you all can't be trusted to tell them the fucking truth.
Oh, we can't be trusted. I can't trust the ethics committee because I don't know if they exist half the time.
Oh, they are real. Their funding is just the most inconsistent thing ever. I mean, really, it's like on a daily basis, someone decides their funding. Some weeks, someone dumps billions into the ethics committee, and you see militant groups of 01 bullying anyone who they feel like. Other weeks, it is just, you a thing? Please don't break that rule, thank you.
You know, at one point I wanted to be an ethics committee member.
Don't.
That is a dumb thing to say. No, I'm kidding. The ethics
Yeah.
committee can be quite interesting, but with how you act, you'd last a week.
Okay, you're acting like I'm doing like horrible things to people. All I did was
Your
try
track
to send
record is
096 to the
You
sun.
killed a
and
man because you wanted to see, oh man, what happens if he goes into the sun?
It's a test!
I mean, yeah,
What were you
fair.
testing?
I'm testing to see if 096 can survive in the fucking sun!
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
something
I was
that's
gonna argue that what you're testing is if you can entertain yourself without catching bodies, and the answer is no.
Look, I'm bored, okay? Do you know how boring it is to sit in PW and just do paperwork all day? I need entertainment. I need my brain stimulated. Sending 096 into the motherfucking sun is funny.
Well, yes, and this exact kind of behavior is the reason why you will never be in the ethics committee.
You make a very good point.
The fact that you being bored is enough to start for you to consider to simply kill people for the fun of it.
Oh, I'm not killing people for the fun of it. I'm killing people
Oh,
for
you
the
quite
test.
literally are killing people for the fun of it. You're doing tests for fun rather than for value to the Foundation. So you are literally
Look, when
killing
you
people
put it like
for the fun
that,
of
you
it.
make me sound like a monster.
Yes, you are. It's why I already like you and I'm here. Because you are clearly psychotic and you do not value human life. That's literally why I'm here.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Oh. If there is a hell, we're all going to it.
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh god.
Hell is
It's so
real
much
and
fun.
no, it's empty. No,
Hell
I
is
mean
real and Obama's in the 7th layer, bro.
No, we all just get reincarnated as D-class, and we just have to go through the same tests. We have to go through the tests that we put the D-class through in our current lives.
You do not know how serious I was when I said hell is real, but nobody's there.
I don't subscribe to your ideals, but
That's
I
not
mean,
exactly what I mean,
teach
but
your own. Well, we could have a discussion about this outside podcast.
well, no, we can't because I mean, we would have to have it outside because a certain -3 would fucking murder me if I talked about it openly.
I know a -1, you'll be fine.
Well, again, let's put it like this. It's a lot to explain.
Oh, before you say anything, is this something I'm gonna have to redact?
It's a lot to explain
Yes, it
in
is.
so many ways.
You're gonna have to redact this whole next part if we're gonna continue this line of conversation.
Well,
Then
again,
let's not continue this line of conversation.
simply put, I've experienced some real fucking dimension theory, and it's a
Dimension
shit show
theory,
and
that's what my project is, bro.
Do you want? Do we want to go more in depth into this?
Look, all I'm saying is the project I'm on is a mirror that lets you see alternate dimension versions of yourself and experience them. Long
I
story
remember
short,
this.
I'm not in my head right now. I'm surprised I haven't screams recently, honestly.
Well, I feel like in the end of all this, I feel like this episode has been very opening and enlightening in some ways. We learned that I'm crazy.
I'm insane.
Yeah, that's
We've
basically
today
it.
learned that we are all clinically insane and we'll all go to hell.
Yeah. Is that surprising?
Oh, of course not.
Nope.
Exactly.
And with that, we're gonna end off this episode because I am tired. So thank you all very much for listening to the Site-65 podcast. Thank you, Joseph Cooper. Thank you, Richard, for joining us. Do you guys have anything you want to say before the episode ends?
The universe is a hologram, reality is an illusion, by gold.
FNAF movie was good. All you critics are bad.
Yeah, fair enough. I have to watch it. Anyways, yeah, this has been the Site-65 podcast. I've been your host, Robert Tomato Peterson. Join the research department. We have lots of fun there. Thank you very much for listening.